YouTube, and then also AM and FM radio, and also streaming live on AM, FM. How would you do FM? Let's see, FM, and streaming live on the TuneIn app. You know, I guess it's a good issue in that if the TuneIn app goes down, I get a bunch of phone calls and texts and emails. So to my brother in Columbus, Ohio, who's listening now, hi, Jeff, Fidge, and then to several others, Winkler and some other folks, Figler, all these other folks. A lot of listen on the TuneIn app. I fixed it yesterday. It took me several hours, but, you know, it's all about IP addresses. You know what I mean? You got to know IP addresses. I'm going to be with you guys for 4 hours today, so I'm starting a little bit late. And if you don't like that, too bad, because it's my radio stations and my streaming video operation. So, you know what? You can shake a stick at it, but you can't make chocolate milk out of it. And I will be sitting in on the Purdue Northwest show, which always makes them a little bit nervous, just so you know. And then I will be interviewing the 49-year-old governor. How old is he? 49, 50-year-old governor of the state of Indiana at 9:05. And how do you think that goes when Debbie Wargo has to say, hey, Jim, you need to stick around till like, 9:30 or 10 o'clock maybe, because if they're running late or whatever. So on Thursday, I go, wait a second. So you know that tonight I have a marketing final project to do, correct? And that I would like to be left alone the entire day on Thursday so that I could prepare for that. Yeah, I'm aware of that. And I was kind of hoping to get out of here at 8 and then go and study for my final. And, well, you're going to host Purdue show. Okay, thank you. They're good partners. And then you're going to interview the governor of Indiana at 9 o'clock. And I'm like, well, who okayed that? And Debbie's like, well, Ryan and I okayed that. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, I thought I was the boss. And then they both say, well, you are mistaken. And you're going to be here and you're going to interview people until we say you can leave. So that's how it's going to be. So I was laying there in bed today, scratching my yin yin moho yin yes. You know what I would really like today, Ryan? No, is there any way? Do you guys want Starbucks this morning? I want a latte. Is that okay? I'm going to be here for 4 hours in this chair. And it smells, by the way. Did somebody beef in this thing? Anyways, what do you want? No, I'm not. Oh yeah, I got a 25-minute break. You know, all right. So I would like a grande latte, and that's it. Here, and I'll give you my credit card and just hand it to them. And if they ask if you're not Jim Deedlow, say, don't I look like him? Yeah, call me live on the air, and then what we could do is we could put the Starbucks drive-through person on. And then I'll say, well, hey, don't you know who I am? Like I did at the Elks Club. That lady still kind of turned around. She's like, what is your problem, sir? Well, I don't have a problem. Just don't you know who I am? All right, Ryan, here you go. Pick up one of those cards. Pick the Marriott, the dark Visa one or whatever, because we could probably write that off. All right, let's take a look at traffic here in the Calumet region, just to the south of Chicago. It's Holy Thursday, which means there should be nobody on the road, and that's not the case. You know what I did yesterday? I bit my tongue eating a tangerine, and the right side of my mouth, it sounds like I got a little problem in there because I got a little swollen tongue, and Leo Thuby would know what I'm talking about. Anyways, 294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west looks good. There's another one in there. Nope. You're getting closer. Nope. Keep going. There's one stuck deep in there. It is a dark Visa. So Ryan's having a little trouble with my wallet. It may be in the very top where you can't really grab it out. Bishop Ford, though, is a problem, as it is a tight from 115th to, like, I don't know, maybe 95th. I don't know why that is. Who be going to work on Holy Thursday? What's wrong with you? Can't you hear me knocking? What I really need is a honky-tonk woman. And really, it's just kind of a adage to live by. You can't always get what you want. And if you're sitting in traffic on the Bishop Board, listen to some Rolling Stones in the background while I blabber at you. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65, they're all moving along pretty well. And traffic is brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. And in terms of weather, high of 47 today, periods of rain. And then Friday, partly sunny and chilly, and a high of 49. And then Saturday, high of 52, mostly cloudy, showers around. And then Sunday, a high of only 39 and cold. So, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that since I have Governor Holcomb coming on today, he is, of course, against industrial hemp. But if you go across the state line, you can get like a medical license for smoking marijuana, right? So what I was thinking is maybe we would get this thing going on in the morning where I get up early and then I drive over to Lansing and I take care of my impending glaucoma. And then I come back over here to this side of the state line and then I do the radio show. I'm wondering if that would be legal. In other words, there's two legal questions there. First of all, is it okay to be an Indiana resident and go over there and get a medical marijuana license in Illinois? Now, I know it's not really available yet, but it will be at some point soon. So you get over there and you get your medical marijuana license, and then you go over there and you smoke your weed in the morning, and then you come over to Indiana high. Is there a legal issue there, or could you not even get your medical marijuana license over there because you live in Indiana? You got to be an Illinois resident. I don't know. Sounds kind of fishy to me. And then the other thing would be, could you be high on the radio? Is that possible? I mean, is that illegal to say, all right, I am on marijuana now, but I don't know if that would be. Can you do that? I don't imagine marijuana is illegal federally, right? So you would be in violation of federal law, but would you be in violation of radio law, which is governed by the FCC? So I don't know. We're going to get a ruling on that just because I'm curious, not because I want to do it. But one of the things we're going to talk to with Governor Holcomb is his disagreement with industrial hemp. He doesn't want it, I guess. So what you got against hemp, Holcomb? Governor Hemp. I'm sorry, that was a bad one. All right, there you go. That'll start everything. I'll be with you guys for like 4 hours. And about halfway through, I'm going to do one of these things where you stick your arm under your armpit and you make that like fart sound. And I've been working on that in the shower, so I'll have to take my shirt off and you'll be able to see my hairy fish belly to do that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Higgs and Dabberton are getting in on the firing. You know, I wonder if they did it like Trump does it. You're fired. And we'll tell you about that one. And then we have to talk about this very incredibly sobering story of the two kids who got burned and what their mom was doing, and and that is Kalani Gober, that was 2 years old, and Chris Gober, who was 4. The two siblings died of smoke inhalation on Sunday morning. Wow. But anyways, right now, we got somebody on the phone, on local 599 phone. We decided that we would have a soda. I sung my song to Mr. Jimmy. Let's see if Ramon will sing his song to Mr. Jimmy. Hey, what's going on, Ramon? How are you?
Hey, Jed, I was just listening to you when you just come in.
Really?
And, yeah, about that marijuana thing. So if you do it, if you go across state line and come back, you'll be under the influence. But it's the same thing when you're not under the influence, and then you get on the radio, then the people under the influence of what you say.
So there's a lot of under the influencing going on.
Right, there's a lot of under the influence. But then the same thing I was rubbing my leg with some Bengay, and I got it on my hanging fruit.
You got it on what?
My hanging fruit.
Oh, stop. Oh, no, I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, I thought you said you got it on your hand, and one time I had done that where I had gotten Bengay on my hand, and then I went to the bathroom. Oh, my God.
So I'm under the influence of the Bengay now.
Well, maybe somebody has a suggestion. If you get Bengay on his very sensitive area down there, what can you use to counteract the stinging feeling? You know what I mean?
Right. Maybe I have to call Trump's doctor now.
Why Trump's?
Yeah, because he just put him in head of the VA. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he might know what he's talking about. Maybe I better call him, 1-800.
You think he's busy this morning?
I'm pretty sure he is, because everybody in the uproar about it.
Hey, how would you like to be Trump's doctor? President?
I'll be his doctor. I'll tell him stop that. No, it's a lot. I can't say what I say. But, I'll be his doctor because he's going to pay me. But I have to give him some advice. I like, stop that dang on tweeting. And just, sometimes everything you think about ain't to be said, or written or presented to other people. Sometimes, like when they write you a speech, you got to look at it. The other analytics got to look at it and make sure it's proper and it's proper to the masses. You just don't blurt out nothing, But that's what, I kind of like to do because he just don't give a F,
You said something that's very important here. You said everything you think don't got to be said. And
right.
You know what? That is so true. You know what I mean?
Right. And you got to say it like that. Don't got to be.
I think actually you said...
don't got to be.
I think you said everything you think ain't got to be said, but I changed ain't to don't. Are you okay with that?
Right. It's the same thing. Don't got to be, got to be, shouldn't have to be, can't be said. It's all the same thing.
If you were Trump's doctor, at some point you got to tell him to bend over and you got to put the latex glove on. What a drag that would be.
No, I don't want. He already full of F, so I don't want to see that.
He probably, from eating all those donuts in McDonald's, it's
right. Because if he fought, I can imagine how it smells.
Oh, I don't know why we're talking about this other than it's Holy Thursday.
I don't know how we got on that. But you better get down to the business of the region, so we better stop this knucklehead. And then, y'all got to make them shirts so I can be on it too, Jed's knucklehead.
Jed, two knuckleheads. You know what? I'm going to work with that because people ask me for shirts and, we've made... Would you wear a shirt? Would you wear a shirt with my cartoon face on the front of it?
Yeah.
All right.
Like Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that, actually.
I want one with Mad Max face on.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Well, first of all, no one would know who that... He looks kind of like a Martian for some reason when I look at Mad Max, like Martian. So no one's going to know. They're going to think you like you're pro Mars or something like that.
Right. And then he could wear one with my face on.
Yeah, and you could. They'd say, "Why do you got a picture of Bernie Mac on your face on your shirt?" All right, I got work to do. I can't just do this knucklehead stuff. All right,
break over. Okay.
All right, see you. Bye. Yeah, he's right. You guys are knuckleheads. Can't just have knucklehead radio every morning. Really? Like I come home from work. I worked. I don't know. I got home around 4 yesterday. So, I don't know, I got here at 5:30, and I got home at 4, and I'm like, all right, what are Alexis and I going to eat? So I bring out a tangerine, one of those little cuties, and I'm so hungry, I just take it, and I eat about half of it in one bite, and I'm starting to chew it, kind of. I was just going to swallow it. And literally, I took about half my tongue with my, what do you call it? Not your incisor, the molars in the back. And man, literally, I'm laying there all night long going, my tongue hurts. My tongue hasn't hurt since I won't even go into that. All right, let's talk about a couple things going on here. According to the Times, this is why you like listening to me. And this is one of the things that attracts you to Lake County. As much as we complain about the bad government that Governor Daniels, my landlord, had to say that one time. He's, come on, man. It just never disappoints. Jackie Sutton, that one I get a lot of mileage out of it. Partly because every night before I go to sleep, I get this feeling like Jackie Sutton and Donald Trump are meeting in a hotel room along the Boardman. But that's another story altogether. Lake County officials have fired a county courthouse janitor who filed an election complaint that he was asked to notarize candidates' applications on county time. Hey, Ryan, can you get this guy on? Oh, I'm sorry. You sent Ryan to go get the latte? Yeah, whatever. Mulaney, it's just that slightly that Irish streak in people sometimes that wants it. It's just a little bit lazy, so they make the other Irish guy go. And so there it is. All right, Lake County officials have fired a count horse janitor. I mean, a courthouse janitor. As a matter of fact, if you were me, you would look at it as Esroch Truach. That's courthouse backwards. So you see what happens when I look at a word. I kind of see it forward, but I see it much more clearly backwards. So I have to go through this like translation process. So I see Isuach Truach, and I go, all right, I got to make that into courthouse. And then right about halfway through it, if I'm not paying attention, or if I went over to Illinois on the way in, it would be count horse, especially if it's county courthouse. County courthouse, county courthouse, county courthouse. Say toy boat 3 times real fast. But anyways, it's like Spanish to English. You're trying to talk in Spanish, and you go, yo quiero hablar en español, pero yo tengo que pensar por las palabras antes de que yo puedo hablar. Yeah, you get the idea. So it's all translation in my head when I'm trying to speak Spanish with my wife so my kids can't understand. And then the same thing happens in reading, and that's why it takes so long. That's why I'm a huge fan of these Audible books now. Alexis and I are listening to this book called, it's something about the dark, if you go away in the dark or something. And it's about this woman who kind of got obsessed in trying to track down the Golden State Killer who killed 10 and raped about 50. And he would just jump into their rooms at nighttime while they were sleeping and do it. And sometimes it would be couples in bed, and he would do some very sadistic, horrible things, and then sometimes kill them and sometimes leave them or whatever. And she would, it's a book, and it's read. It's not a podcast. Somebody's reading the book, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I don't have to translate the whole thing while I'm reading it. Anyways, here's according to Bill Dolan. Lake officials have filed a county courthouse janitor who filed an election complaint that he was asked to notarize candidates' applications on county time. The guy's name is Kyron Sims. He's of Hammond. He lost his job cleaning the satellite courthouse in Hammond, where he was paid a whopping $21,855 annually. Now, this comes days after he filed a complaint before the county elections board. So here's how this goes. I'll just summarize what I think is right. But if I'm wrong, can you just bring out one of those hammers out of a Warner Brothers cartoon and just jam me on top of the head. All right. This guy, Kyron Sims, works as a janitor in the courthouse. And his boss is Anthony Higgs. And Anthony Higgs both works for the county as the supervisor of maintenance for the county courthouse in Hammond. And he is also a Hammond councilman. So evidently, Higgs, in concert with whatever political operatives, somehow wants to get is looking to get some things notarized. Now, from what I've been told, they were for precinct committee people to be precinct committee people. Okay, so they're trying to kind of maybe get more people into the Democratic organization in Hammond. So he's got these pieces of paper that are evidently signed, and he needs them notarized, right? So he goes to Kyron Sims. Hey, Kyron, can you notarize these? And he's like, you know what? I can notarize these. And he notarizes them, okay? Now, for some reason, he and Higgs aren't getting along, or for whatever reason, Kyron Sims goes down to the county election board and he tells on himself. Sims, as said last week, his supervisor, Hammond City Councilman Anthony Higgs of the 3rd District in Hammond, took him away from his county work in February to notarize official forms for several people to run for members of the county's Democratic Precinct Committee organization. Okay? So you got that. So there's Dill Bolin giving us some confirmation on that, right? La, 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 la. So the county, Sims is a notary public, blah, blah, blah. The election board receives his complaint and votes to submit it to the county prosecutor, Bernie Carter. Because basically, if you really think about it, Higgs was asking him to do political work on county time, if this is true. Okay? And if you remember, wasn't it one of these guys went to jail for doing that? Who was that? Was that Van Til? Didn't he use like a county computer to hold his election list or whatever, and he wound up going to jail? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. They all run together after a while. You know, the first time I came on the air here was 1985, so if you think about it, and you're a longtime listener, we've talked together for like way too long. Can you shut up for a while? Anyways, the elections board received his complaint Tuesday and voted to submit it to Carter. Okay, gotcha. Sims said he was fired during a meeting with Anthony Higgs, his supervisor, and Tom Rebad. And that is actually Tom Rebad is Dabberton backwards. So Tom Dabberton. Now, if you know Tom Dabberton, he's a large man with large hands, and he is the human resources consultant for the county of Lake. Okay? So he gets some of these kind of nasty jobs. Remember that we fired all those older people? Remember we just kind of wiped the slate clean of older county workers? For the life of me, I don't know how we got away with that, but we did. Ask Helen Sutton. And so Sims says he intends to sue on grounds his termination was politically motivated. Now, let's look at this. From what I understand, you can't fire somebody for political reasons. Hey, the police are here. Hey, listen, I was just joking about going to Illinois this morning, okay? I really was. Okay, thanks. Hey, listen, what are they doing here? It was a joke, okay? It's a bid. I do stuff where I just make it up, all right? The Hammond police are here for me. So what is a political firing? You know, a long time ago, Alexis and I and a couple of other people from an office, she was fired from a job working in a office, a judge's office, and we weren't really interested in suing, but some other people in the office were, and we met with Ivan Bodensteiner. Remember him? I think he's still around, isn't he? But he's kind of a civil rights attorney. And he basically said, well, you might have a point here. They can't just fire you because you're were brought on by the other person and they think you're a Democrat or they think you're a Republican. You can't do that. So you might have a case. I go, well, what do you mean? So you can fire anybody anytime you want? And he's like, no, not in government. And I'm like, what are you talking about, not in government? It's like, if you're firing someone for political reasons and they're not in a, what, quote, position of leadership, that's not, you can't do that. I'm like, wow, I never heard of that. So I don't know. I just understood it then. And I'm like, that's kind of silly. Really, you should be able to fire anybody anytime at will, right? Not really. Okay. Marshmallow Dream Bar is gluten free. It's Nitolgi Irv. All right. So what happens here with this Sims guy? Well, there's Nit Rebad and Sgi, that's Dabberton and Higgs. They say you refused to listen to instruction and made comments which were inappropriate and unprofessional. Your actions in refusing to follow direction has left us no other choice but to conclude your employment. That's a letter from Nit Rebad. And he sent that to Sims, and he's done. Lake County Commissioner Mike Ripe said last week he considered the timing of Sims' complaint to the election board to be suspicious, since it happened shortly after Sims had been warned of disciplinary action against him that had nothing to do with political work. So, what's going on here? Sims complained he was never paid to do the notary work. So, what's Higgs's role here? Is Sims, was he fired politically? Ripe's weighing in on this, saying, sounds kind of fishy to me that Sims would complain to the election board right after we yelled at him or something. And then Dabberton doing his job of writing the letter and so forth. So, you know what this gets part into? Until somebody gets hurt, and maybe somebody will in this. It's just when you cue that circus music about Lake County politics. And I like to do that once in a while, but more than that, I would like to drink with this latte that Brian just put in front of me. There's a few things in life that are just not right, and you can't get away from them. Butter. I love butter. Alexis will go, why don't just put it on your finger? Why even put it on that tiny morsel of bread? A good half a teaspoon of butter on there. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It just looks better to be on a piece of bread than on my grubby little fingers, don't you think? And then there's beer, and then there's pizza, and then there's lattes. And I don't know why I like this, because I love milk, and it's got milk. It's like basically coffee with milk in it, all whipped together and made just perfect for your palate. So what we'll do after this latte break is that I will take your phone calls at 219-845-1100. I'm going to see what the Hammond police want from me. It was a joke. I was just kidding about going over to Illinois in the morning and participating in hemp ceremonies. I haven't been to Wampum to do that since the early 80s, so it's all good.
During the Honda Dream Garage Spring event going on now at Napleton's River Oaks Honda. They're Northwest Indiana's destination for new and certified pre-owned Hondas. Napleton's River Oaks Honda has a huge selection of brand new and certified pre-owned Civics, Accords, CRVs, and Pilots. Come find out why you always get our best deal at River Oaks Honda. As always, Indiana residents pay Indiana sales tax right off 8094 on Torrance Avenue or online at riveroakshonda.com.
Napleton, second to none since 1931.
Loyalty, hard work, self-reliance, genuineness, and gratitude. These values make us who we are. They're here in Indiana, and they're here in Indiana's grocery store, Strachan Van Til. We're proud to serve the people who have put us at the heart of their neighborhoods. We're dedicated to the Indiana values we share and to providing an experience that will make you dedicated to us. Strack and Van Til is Indiana's grocery store, and we're Indiana made.
Carpenters Local 599 joins with other Carpenter locals to build the local economy and has been doing so for over 117 years. We are proud to be a member of the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters, which is threefold: training, professionalism, and partnership. We also offer some of the best benefits in the industry. To find out how to become a member of Carpenters Local 599, contact us at 219-942-0518 or log on to ikorcc.com.
You know, I enjoy watching basketball at home, but I think we should go over to Johnny's Tap in Munster for drinks and fun.
Yeah, I like going to Johnny's Tap.
Speaking of fun, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Fun. Mr. Who and Mrs. Who? Mr. and Mrs. Fun, but they're at Johnny's Tap.
Okay, I'll see you there at the corner of Broadmoor and Calumet Avenue. Yeah, I like going to Johnny's Tap.
Johnny's Tap. New ownership, now smoke-free, and still the home of Mr. and Mrs. Fun.
A real neighborhood type of place.
Hey, you want me to do my Uncle Frank? Hey, it's 6:34 in the Calumet region. What time is it? It's time to go to Albert's. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the traffic. It's 294, looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Uncle Frank, Bishop Ford, that's a little tight going into the merch. I'm surprised at that because it's been light all week. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65, those are all moving along well. So just the Bishop Ford into the Randian. I was laughing during the break here. By the way, it's opening day. And what do we have for the Cubs game at Wrigley Field today? It's a high of 47, periods of rain. So it should start raining right about the time the Cubs throw the first pitch around 11:40. It's raining now. Partly sunny and chilly tomorrow, and they're going to play in the cold again tomorrow against Miami. And then Saturday, high of 52, mostly cloudy, showers around, so rainy on Saturday. And then on Sunday when they play, it's going to be in the 20s overnight, and then just get into the 30s on Easter. So we've got some cold viewing of baseball here. Oh, it's not in Chicago. It's in Miami. That's a great idea, by the way. Alexis and I flew into Fort Lauderdale and then drove down to the Keys, partly because I'm cheap and partly because I want to see the thank you, Ryan. I need to clean out my sinuses here. I've been doing some work lately outside, and for some reason, I got the sniffles this morning. So rather than have you listen to that all morning long, that like slight sound, I'm going to take an Advil cold and sinus. And I don't know if this is legal by FCC regulations, but there it is. Pretty soon, my nostrils will not be soggy, and you will have a much better listening experience. All right, weather brought to you by Laborers Local 41. All right, traffic, Napleton, River Oaks, Honda. Oh, yeah, I wanted to look at the markets this morning. They've been all over the place lately, you know? And they're nowhere today. They're up 70. That's like nothing anymore. Let's see. I think we got to take some phone calls here, huh? But let me look where the market was yesterday. And that is, it was down 9, so really didn't do anything yesterday. All right, let's see how Mad Mac's doing. Mad Mac, how are you doing today?
Better than you're doing, I can tell you that. This is one reason, boy, Facebook Live would be fantastic right now, because I could turn that on and watching you suffer through the initial stages of dementia this morning. You can't even get through an article written by a 5-year-old. You can't even read it. And then Anthony Higgs, he's the head of anything and is embarrassment to our government.
Why is that? He's been duly elected by his district. Why would you say that?
You got to be kidding me, right? This is a guy who drove his car and put a drive-up window through the front of the Pines tap.
Calumet tap.
Whatever. I thought it was the Pines.
if you're referring to a medical incident that Mr. Higgs was alleged to have had, I want to say it was at Calumet Avenue and
That's what Pines is at,
May
right?
Street. No, it was. I think he had some sort of a medical emergency in his car.
Alleged.
No,
they never drew his blood. They would have drew his blood. It would have run off the Richter scale, the DWI. Come on now.
Whatever the point was, it wasn't the Pines. It was, I think, Cal Tap on Calumet Avenue. But anyways,
he goes out to a hotel in Vegas, gets blottoed, trips over his own luggage, and attempts to sue a Vegas hotel. Then he attempts to sue the city of Hammond for another slip and fall he did on his own.
Hey, listen, I don't want to go through whatever you got in your mind.
Tackling a 12-year-old girl.
Listen. All right. Just hold on a second. We're talking about a situation where the janitor who worked underneath Anthony Higgs,
which is a misnomer right out of the blocks, because I'm sure it was a male janitor too, working under Anthony. No pun intended. Continue.
He got fired, and he was
who fired him, by the way?
Well, Tom Dabberton wrote him a letter.
Of what, accommodation or?
No, said, hey, you're fired. They're saying, all right, here's what I get out of this. They got together with this guy, Sims. We're going to try to get him on. And they says Dabberton denies the firing was political. He made public this week a letter he sent to Sims. He says he has been recalcitrant and insubordinate to Higgs over routine work instructions. He says, during our meeting, evidently Dabberton met with him, you refused to listen to instruction and made comments which were inappropriate and unprofessional. Your actions in refusing to follow direction has left us no other choice but to conclude your employment.
Unbelievable. What do you think this is going to cost us, Jimmy? Get the wheel of corruption out with just dollar amounts and $25,000 increments, let's say, going up to about, I'd say maybe stopping at 3 1/4.
Hey, get the tin can out of your mouth.
There's a lawyer to say, look, I was fired without cause. Let's take guesses on what this is going to cost us.
I don't know, man, Mac. You got to ask yourself, what is the price of a good laugh?
I got to tell you, Jimmy.
What is the price of a good laugh? Because you are applying logic and, futuristic portending. And all I'm saying is that you have to sit back and you have to enjoy the entertainment of what happens in Lake County politics. And I've been telling you guys that forever.
If that's the case, if you want to go for entertainment and politics, please replay the Anthony Higgs video when MX asked Higgs the question. And you look up at the cameras and go, are you filming this? While Anthony's eyes fly out of his head, and then he hits the floor.
Well, I mean, I don't want to make fun of a medical situation. That's not. I mean, I'll take my laughs where they're due.
Alleged. How does one guy cause so? It's the same routine every time. Do you not see that? Do you not get that?
Have I seen the circus for 33 years sitting in this chair?
This guy is a slip and fall expert. This guy ends up unemployed. He makes a call of repay, and he gets a job like in 30 seconds. Is any of this like ringing a bell in your head, dude?
You know what? That's not what's important. What is important is what is ringing in your head. And I just don't know if I even want to conjecture what that might be. But in terms of this case, I see a couple of issues. Seriously. There's a serious issue here in that...
Ramp up Facebook Live there, somebody.
Hey, listen, there is an issue in if political work was done on county time, either by Sims for doing political work on county time, or was it directed by Higgs. Now, it does say in Dolan's article that from time to time, county workers who have a notary have been allowed to do notaries while they're working, but they can't get paid for it. So they might slip by on this one in that other people are doing notaries on county time, and either it was either written or it was just accepted. And so if that's the case, they may not be able to be held liable, both Sims and Higgs, for doing political work on county time, if indeed it did happen on county time. That is one issue.
No way. Because I know Anthony is so devoted. I mean, he's working.
I mean, there may be something there.
23 hours a day.
There may be something there. There may be not. Now, the second part of that is it a political firing of Mr. Sims? And that is serious stuff. And, as I told you guys, I learned a little bit about it early on, and just to know enough to know that it's a very messy business, and we didn't want any part of it. But it does happen, and there have been people who have sued Lake County over political firings and have won. I want to say one of the first ones was Judge Jim Krajewski had some public defenders or whatever, and he fired them, and then they said it was political, and then they got reinstated. And ever since then, there really has, there's been this reluctance to fire anybody which might be seen as political. In this case, even though it might be seen as political, they don't really care. They're just firing the guy. And
at least we got the latte rolling through you here. What's the over-under on the number of old styles going through your skull by, let's say, 12:45 today?
You know what?
I'm going to put that at I'm going to say 4.5, and I'm going to put 100 on the over.
No, you are incorrect, because here's why. Because I am a responsible student at Purdue Northwest, and I have my final project today, which needs a lot of work, and I will be working on that.
Okay.
I will not be at Johnny's Tap today. I will not be going over.
I thought you were going with Ryan today to Johnny's Tap.
I might just stop in, but I'm not going to be, partaking because I got homework today, man. My group is
with a project due today that means a lot of work. No, that should have been done 3 days ago.
All right. Well, now you're sounding like my grandma Deedlo, so you get clicked out. Is it okay? Can we make a call? I just feel like calling. It's coming up on Easter. Can I just start calling my relatives right now? Hey, how about we call my nephew's Craig Deedlo, who's in Arizona right now, where it's 4:46. Wouldn't that be funny? All right, I got to take some more phone calls. 219-845-1100. Are we taking this? Who is it? Hey, happy first day of the season, my friend.
Yeah, how about it?
It really is a great day, man.
It is a wonderful day. Great day. Cubs are going to come out of the gate with a win today. Don't have to worry about this crappy Chicago weather. As a matter of fact, they don't have to worry about this crappy Chicago weather for 10 games.
Is it that long? They're not coming back till what, like April 9th or something?
April 9th. 4 in Miami, 3 in Cincinnati, 3 in Milwaukee. I think this is the first time they've ever had opened up a season 10 on the road, because normally at worst case scenario, they normally have like 6 on the road they open up with.
I'm okay with them opening up on the road. It's nasty.
Yeah.
It's a nasty around. How many opening days has it been where it's 38 degrees and windy off the lake, and then it rains just a little bit, and it's just not baseball weather? And that goes for Cubs and the Sox,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping, unfortunately, I, too, cannot make it to Johnny's Tap and visit Mr. and Mrs. Funes. I got to work tonight, as much as I'd love to pop in there and throw down a couple old styles with everybody.
You and I both have things to do, and we're both going to be responsible today. I'm not sitting in a bar today.
Every once in a while, you got to play that card, right?
You got to have that card to play.
You got to have that man card in your wallet and pull it out once in a while and use it. So there'll be plenty of games to go watch at Johnny's Tap.
What does today mean? Opening day baseball for both the Cubs and the Sox. I mean, what is the implication of that? What does it tell your soul?
So the first thing I think of opening day is good weather is right around the corner. That's the first thing I think of on opening day baseball. The better weather is right around the corner.
I don't think you're right now. I think we got a little ways to go here. I don't see it being 60 for like 3 weeks. How's that feel?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say by April 15th, we will be in the low 50s consistently for the rest of the month.
All right.
I think next weekend I saw like a chance of snow on April 8th, Sunday, but I don't even trust any weatherman, any meteorologist in the area.
All right, I'm looking right now at the monthly projection for April, okay? And on Saturday, it gets to 61, Saturday the 14th, but it is supposed to rain. And then on Wednesday the 18th, it gets to 61, and it's supposed to rain. We don't have a sunny and 60-plus day projected until April 24th, just so you know.
I will bet you an Italian beef sandwich with fries and a couple cold ones from Johnny's Tap. By April 15th Sunday, we will be in the 50s consistently for at least a week.
Okay, I'll give you the 50s.
We will not, during the daytime temp, we will not be in the 40s, like as a high.
I get you. You're right. And the normal high at this time of year is 55 degrees, and we're well below it for a long time, okay? But the issue is okay that it's in the 50s and sunny. That's palatable. But don't you want a few warm days? I mean, like 65 and sunny for like 4 days straight. Don't you want that for your soul?
Easy, grasshopper, patience.
No.
Hurt you. My God. You know, we need the rain, April showers, bring May flowers. Come on, Jim. You were in kindergarten once.
Mrs. Brush.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember over projected April weather-wise where it's been like high 60s and sunny. I can't remember those days since I was probably like 5 or 6.
Who was your baseball coach? Who was your baseball coach at Munster? Shink?
Shink.
So Shinkin, and so go back to those days. What position did you play? Did you catch?
No, once I got into high school, I moved to the outfield. I caught my whole life from age 7, and then I knew going into high school there was no way I was going to be a catcher with the 2 guys ahead of me, so I moved to the outfield. So
if you guys have seen Zube, he looks like a catcher, just so you know. He looks kind of like Kyle Schwarber in the outfield, and my guess is that you played out, you hit, and I know that you were a very good hitter at Munster and still are a good hitter, but my guess is that you played outfield similarly to how Schwarber played outfield, which was when a fly ball is hit out there, everybody gets on their feet and just to make sure you catch it.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Okay, so all right, here's my question. When I think of high school baseball, I think of standing at all the fields in Northwest Indiana, all of them, from the old Whiting Park along the lake to Merrillville to the old crappy Crown Point field they had that was like a cheap, I don't know, it was a bad field, to Munster's Field, of course, where I played, to Hammond High's field over there by the Civic Center. All of those fields I played on at least one time, all the way into Michigan City's field, all that stuff. And that old field they had downtown Michigan City. Every one of them, I think of standing at shortstop, waiting for John Broderson to throw a pitch, and freezing my ass off. I mean, isn't that what you think of in high school baseball? You look back on it and you go, wow, that was kind of fun, but I'm pretty sure I like froze my ass off the whole time I'm playing. I mean, the whole time you're playing through late March, April, May, it seems like it's always cold when you take the field.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys had them back in that day. We started getting them in the when Tommy Largus started taking over, helping out with baseball and football duties. He would print out the jumbo posters of the schedule for varsity.
I don't remember that.
Okay, well, you could take a couple of them home, whatever. They'd post them in the locker room and stuff. And every year, I just remember, first game of the season, away game, Clark. I'm like, really? Really? March 28th, spring break, and it's 34 degrees. I want to be playing at Clark.
Clark
Whiting
is no, wait, no, Whiting. We'll talk to that one.
Clark was worse. I feel playing at Clark in late March, early April was worse than playing at Old Whiting by the lakefront, because the cooler breeze, for some reason, tended to be a little bit more away from the lake. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'll give you that.
I never remember like freezing at Whiting that early, but Clark, there's nothing out there to protect you. No overtop dugouts. It was just the benches you sat on. Nothing. Just wide open everywhere on that field.
I will give you that. Clark is especially wide open, and it's open to Wolf Lake. So, and the prevailing winds are from the west or the northwest at this time. So you are correct. That is a very bad one. But I always thought of all the fields in the region that the coldest one is Maryville, because it's wide open back there, and it's up against I-65. Every game I ever played or ever went and watched at Maryville, when my stepson played or when my nephew played, it was always cold at Maryville, and there's nothing to block that wind coming out of the west, and it's just freezing back there. But Clark, you are correct, man. It's just like being out on the tundra out there.
You see Maryville High School, and the thing that sticks in my mind is, what was it, junior year, which would have been 96, where we had the fog-gated delay game at night. It was so thick, we had the night game playing Maryville for the championship, and we had to come back the next day and play and finish it off. We ended up losing by 1 run in extra innings.
And you're still pissed.
Yeah, because we were on fire, and then all of a sudden, guys are, I can't find the ball. Where is it? And all right, we're gonna call the game.
All right. Well, anybody else wants to bring up an especially cold baseball field? 219-845-1100. My vote is Maryville, and Zubay's vote is Clark. And okay.
One quick thing too. I know you played in a different era. Did you guys use aluminum bats in high school, or did you?
Oh no, I don't remember that, but I thought it was wood. Yeah, I think it was wood.
And how bad in those 32-degree games when you get a fastball jammed inside, you can't feel your hand for 2 days.
Ding, ding,
it's the worst.
You got
I'm sure you didn't have batting gloves on back in the day.
Who needs batting gloves when you got calluses? All right, man.
There you go.
Good talking to you. See ya. Let's see how Lori's doing. Hey, Lori, how you doing?
Good morning, Jed. Happy Easter to you and Alexis and the girls.
Happy Easter to you and your family.
Thank you.
So, what's going on?
How you been? Good.
I've been doing all right.
We're going to go to the Patrician for Easter in Cherville, the Patrician Hall. We were going to go to Munster Performing Arts, but they were booked up for like a long time. So
wait, Patrician has a brunch?
Yes.
And you know what? For the very first time, it's just the way everything worked out when we had family gathering last weekend. Alexis and I are kind of thinking of going to brunch on Sunday morning. So you're looking at Patrician. Who else has a brunch? All right.
They have one at the Centennial Park. It was a voicemail, and I didn't want to leave a message. But yeah, there's lots of places. So.
Centennial has one?
Yes. Yeah. When you call there, it'll say leave a voicemail. Then they call you back probably, but they probably have openings. I figure it's in Munster. It's close to you. We wanted to go to Munster because I know the Performing Arts has excellent food, and they always have a brunch every Sunday all the time. So,
can I tell you about another brunch that is going on? And this one is a surprising brunch, and that is at a place called Bulldog on the Lake. The people who own Bulldog Brewery, they're out of Highland. They opened that brewery in Whiting. And now they have opened up a lunch and dinner place in Portage at the Portage Marina, near the Portage Marina there, and it's called Bulldog on the Lake. And I saw those folks, and for the life of me, I'm Ryan, what's their names again, that owned Bulldog in Whiting? And I ran into them and took a tour of their place, and it's an amazing place, and they're having a big Easter brunch. But anyway, so what's going on, Lori?
Not much. Just they have a disc golf at Hidden Lake in Maryville. Now, I know you were playing that in Wicker Park, and I drove through Hidden Lake in Maryville and saw all those little air things. They look like bird cages or something. They look kind of funny. I'm not sure. I've never played disc golf, but they have something new in Maryville that they have at Hidden Lake.
Really? Are you going to start playing this?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not really a golfer. My husband is. He's got some set of ping golf clubs, and he would play now and then, maybe at, Innsbruck with his buddies, like when they have a class reunion for Andrean or at Turkey Creek. But, yeah, no, I mean, I was just kind of driving through looking because I saw in the paper our township trustee, Joe Shudick, had advertised that they have disc golf now, so I thought that was pretty interesting.
You know what? How's Joe doing?
Oh, wonderful. Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, he's running again, and I know he'll win. He's done a fantastic job at Hidden Lake over there. It's beautiful.
Hidden
really
Lake is a beautiful place, and
yes.
We don't talk about it enough. And every once in a while, I'll go out there and walk around for a little hike or whatever. But the disc golf changes the nature of a park, just so you know. Because because there'll be these guys out there throwing these discs or these frisbees, and they're a different kind of person. They're like kind of, they're like a little bit, in the old days it would have been the hippies, they're the kind of the alternative people a lot of times. And that can kind of really change the nature of a park to the better sometimes, but sometimes there's a little clash with the long-time people who have been going to the park and these disc golfs. But anyways, I just bring that up. How's the rest of your life going there, Lori? It's political time. You love this time, don't you?
Yeah, I know, yes. Go Oscar.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. All right, Lori, I'll talk to you. I got to go. Thank you.
Oh, take care, Jed. Bye-bye.
All right. Hey, what about Baxter Printing?
Baxter Printing, located at 3837 Ridge Road in Highland, is a family-owned and operated union print shop that has been serving Northwest Indiana for over 60 years. Our list of satisfied customers range from union locals and politicians to the everyday entrepreneur working hard to get their business off the ground. We help make that happen through our expert design and advice, creating everything from every-door direct mailers to business cards and banners. Why don't you let the Tarosi family at Baxter Printing assist you in your next project? Call us today at 923-1999 and hear me say, Baxter Printing.
Looking to advance your career? Earn a master's degree in technology online in just 18 months from Purdue University Northwest. Our graduates tell us their master's degree in technology, leadership, and management results in promotion and higher pay. Call Purdue Northwest at 219-989-2966. That's 219-989-2966 to get ahead today.
Join Harvest Ridge Church in St. John on Good Friday, March 30th at 7 p.m. for a Tenebrae service. Tenebrae, which means darkness or shadow, is an ancient tradition in which Christians gather to recall the hours of darkness that occurred at the crucifixion of Jesus. Set in candlelight, the candles are gradually extinguished as the biblical story of the cross is retold through scripture and music. Join us at Harvest Ridge Church at 9495 Kyleman Street in St. John for this Good Friday Tenebrae service. Visit harvestridgechurch.com for more information.
Laborers Local 41, together with Indiana Laborers Training Center and our signatory employers, provide state-of-the-art instruction in all areas of the construction industry, from hazardous material handling and environmental remediation to road construction and highway safety. Remember to slow down in construction zones and that the Local 41 members working there are mothers, fathers, coaches, and mentors. Laborers Local 41. We build Indiana in more ways than one.
JED's Garden Family Restaurant, located at the corner of Klein and Ridge, is Griffith's locally owned family restaurant with a down-home feel and made-from-scratch favorites you'll love. Open daily from 5 a.m. midnight. JED's features all-day breakfast, lunch, dinner, and night digs. For family-friendly dining with free Wi-Fi, stop in today at JED's. With your meal, make sure you try our award-winning lemon rice soup. Mention WJOB to receive 20% off your order at JED's.
This is Mayor Stahura, and you're listening to WJOB 1230 AM and 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana.
Hey everybody, Jim Delo of JED in the region, the morning show here on WJOB. And in an effort to give local athletes the coverage they deserve, if you go to a game, how about sending us the results? It's simple. After the game, pick up your phone, hit record, tell the score and who won and who had a good game, and then email it to me at jed@wjob1230.com. If it's less than 30 seconds and you don't swear, we'll play it on the morning show. Remember, email it to jed@wjob1230.com.
Hey, what are you going to do when you grow up? Me, I'm going to talk on the radio with you guys on Holy Thursday. Hey, I hope everybody's going to have a happy Easter. And I didn't mean to cut Lori off so abruptly, but I've got this method here of sitting in this chair for 4 hours, which I got to do today, courtesy of Ryan Walsh and Debbie Wargo. And I wait until the final moment before I have to go to the washroom, and it usually happens right around 7 o'clock. It's actually fairly a regular thing, and so I waited, and then Lori and I went another 30 seconds, and then I had almost gotten past the point of no return, so I get to zip over to the commode and then be back with you guys in one commercial break. See, if I go too early, then I got to wait a little while, and it doesn't time out correctly, and we can't play music on the Facebook Live feed. So, hey, you want to hear some more about this? I didn't think so. Hey, let's take a look at what's going on the roadways. 294 around the city, a little bit tight near Stevenson, but not too bad. And then you have 80 going east and west, looks pretty good. Bishop Ford's a little tight as you approach the merge, but not too bad. It's a little actually worse further on as you approach Jane Byrne, and so it doesn't matter whether you take the Bishop Ford or the Skyway. And then Skyway Toll Road, Borman look pretty good. I-65 northbound has a problem there. Let me see what that is. That is an accident blocking the two right lanes as you get ready to go onto the Borman. So I don't know what that's going to mean for northbound I-65. Anybody who's come through that area, hey, give us a call at 219-845-1100 or text us if you will. I want to say thanks to Bill from Lowell for sending a whole bunch of nice pictures from Portage, Wisconsin. It looks like he's going fishing or boating or something. You got a lake, you got rocks. It's just beautiful, and you've got snow on the ground up there still. So thanks a lot, Bill, on that. Traffic brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. Let's take a look at the weather. It's a rainy day out. You can see that right now. And going forward, high of 47 today. It's kind of just a nasty, wispy day. And then tomorrow, high of 49, partly sunny and chilly. It gets down to 22 degrees on Saturday night going into Sunday morning. And then it gets down again to cold on Sunday night. Easter itself is a mostly cloudy and chilly day. And pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University Online. Choose fully online programs in business, computer science, and more. To learn more, visit online.aurora.edu. La campagna palacha, doo-da. Ryan or Vinny? Vinny or Ryan? Ryan or Vinny? Vinny or Ryan? Let's go to Vinny. Vinny, how are you? What's going on?
Hey, Jim. Good morning.
It's a very serious day because it's the first day of baseball for Vinny. It's almost like going to church today, isn't it, Vin?
Yeah. I was telling Ryan, he asked me what the predictions were, and I told him that I got the Cubs at 95 wins, rounded off with St. Louis about 90. Then coming up with Milwaukee at 85 and the Pittsburgh Pirates at 60, and then you have Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh at 85, and you're
I got Chicago Cubs 95 wins.
Yeah.
St. Louis Cardinals at 90.
Okay.
Okay. The Milwaukee Brewers at 85. And the Pittsburgh Pirates at 60 wins.
You know, How many years now have they had the new stadium in Pittsburgh?
Oh, let's see. I left there in 90. I left there in 98. It was. I would say, Jim, it had to be right after I left in 98. That was like they were tearing it down, and it was like in 99.
Really?
Yeah, because they were tearing it down, and that's when they started building. It was like around. It was like in 99.
Yeah, Ryan just looked it up. 2001. You know, they have one of the. I mean, just from people, I have not gone to a game there. I've seen it. I've been to Pittsburgh and walked around it. But just from reports, like that's one of the best places in the whole Major League Baseball to watch a game. And too bad that they almost consistently watch the Pittsburgh Pirates lose. And they're kind of like the Cubs in that really good players get started there and then leave. Bonds, Bonilla, Van Slyke, all these guys, you know? And it's just unfortunate because it's a pretty good sports town. They're just maybe a little bit too small of a market, perhaps, you know?
Yeah, that's true, you know, and that's what was going on. But the reason why I did call was that you were talking about, like, the coldest, like, you know, playing baseball. When I didn't play high school ball, but I played Little League, you know, at Calumet Park. And you play in March, you're coming off that lake, you're freezing. You know, so we always had to dress warm, like an extra sweatshirt underneath our jerseys, you know, and a jacket and a hat. And you want to talk about cold coming off that lake? It was cold. And there was nothing at Calumet Park, and everything is so wide open.
All right, so Jed says Maryville is the coldest park in the region. Zube says Clark is. And you're going to say, Vinny's going to say Cal Park, which...
Park, right. Because you're coming right off the lake, and there's nothing there. You know, so anybody who played at Calumet Park, you know, in March, there's Jim, there's nothing there. You know, it's all wide open. There's the diamond, like there's a couple of diamonds when you come in. There's a diamond right there, right by the beach, which is Diamond 5, and it's like right there, and that's where the Clippers play, and everything is like right there. Everything is like wide open, and at this time of the year, you're freezing. And it is cold out there.
All right, well, you're going to watch the Cubs throw the first pitch at, 11:40? And you're going to watch that in the comfort of your very toasty office at work, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm off today.
All right.
Sandy, so Sandy, what do you call it? You know, she has like 2 doctor's appointments. But, yeah, we're going to be back in time to watch the game. And it's going to be, you know, she's excited. You know, she's happy that, you know, baseball's here and everything. And, you know, so she's, you know, very excited this year for the Cubs and everything that, you know, everybody's talking about World Series and everything. And that's what's going to happen. I know they're going to be in the playoffs, and it's going to be a good year for the Chicago Cubs.
All right, man. You heard it from Vinny first. Thanks a lot, Vin.
You take care.
Cal Park. Ryan Walsh is with us. How you doing, Ryan? You want to turn your mic on? See, black is 4, right? There you go.
4? Now I'm on.
Yeah, there you go.
Redid these again.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing well. First off, I want to say thank you. Today marks 8 years of me being on the morning show.
Wow, he kind of floored me with that. 8 years? God, we've been together 8 years. 8-year anniversary? Happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Hey, Ryan, it's been a joyous 8 years. God, can you imagine it? Hey, Mulaney, how about one day you roll over and you go, hey, Jed, you and I have been on this morning show for 8 years. How's that feel? Thanks, man. How you been liking it?
It's been fun. It was tough initially getting up, and I had to make adjustments going to bed. You know, during the playoff season for hockey, it was especially tough. You know, the Blackhawks when they get those 8:30 starts. You know, playing Vancouver, the LA Kings, Anaheim Ducks. Those were some tough stretches, but hey, the success of the Blackhawks was a lot of fun. Getting to go and cover those Stanley Cup championships. Other than that, though, it's been pretty easy getting up in the morning. The first couple of weeks. At first, when I started, you had me coming in later on Tuesdays. Yeah, so it was kind of like Monday I came in early, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I would come in early, and then Tuesday I'd come in at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So that was tough initially. Then you just said come on in every morning early, made it easier.
8 years,
little
man.
bump in the road.
I
Tuesdays.
feel like I should have gotten you something, but I didn't. So I'll just say, give you like a pat on the back. Way to go! You know, if you guys have followed this show, I've been on the radio off and on since 1985, believe it or not. And I started doing this show in 07. And this show, I was on, we did Jimmy D and the Coos, and I did other stuff here. But I started doing the morning show on September 24th of 2007. And Dave Ryan was one of the initial guests of the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce. But it's my sister's birthday, so we made it that. And it was a very unprofessional show for about 4 years. Ryan came on in 2010, right?
2010, yeah.
Yeah, 2010. And then I didn't give him very much leeway on how to run things. And then maybe around 2012, it started to have a little Ryan influence where he made it a much more structured show. So if you guys think I'm all over the map now, you should have heard it for 5 years before Ryan kind of turned it in the right direction. I give total credit. You know, this show is nearly sold out advertising-wise. There's a lot of people listening on 6 different distribution outlets. And I say this with all seriousness that is due to Ryan bringing producing capabilities to the morning show. If it was just left to me all these years, it would still be a haphazard show when I show up when I want. I eat just copious amounts of food on the air. Sometimes I just let it be dead air for about a minute while I'm going to the bathroom. And that's how it would still be. We might not even be here at Purdue because I would have just been happy to live in the cubby hole over there at behind Smith Chevrolet. So it's been 8 years, and the success of this show lay squarely on the shoulders of Ryan Walsh.
Well, thank you, but I don't agree with that. I think it's both of us have put a lot of work into the show, and I would say going back early on into what you said, leeway. I was kind of here hanging out, getting the phone calls and doing other things behind the scene editing, and you kind of gave me more responsibility. You gave me a big challenge in 2011, and I think it changed the show. You had kind of a bad relationship, to put it bluntly, with Governor Daniels, and there was somebody in the office that didn't like you, or you didn't like them, and you gave me a challenge, and you didn't really think I would pull it off, and I was getting Governor Daniels to come back on the show on a regular basis. And once he came back on the show, some other people started, tuning back in WJOB because other politicians were following the leeway. Governor Daniels has come back on WJOB, and some other local officials started coming back to our airwaves, and that brought some listenership back. But I think getting Governor Daniels to come back on and mending that relationship with you and him was very big to the show and to our station.
It was even better than that in that. Right, I think we talked about it, and you're like, well, I think it kind of hurts us that Governor Daniels doesn't just not want to come on the show. I think he's kind of said some negative things about you, Jim, and I'm like, well, all right. First of all, Ryan asked me if I care, and he's like, well,
he did not.
He's like, well, maybe we should care, and maybe I go, all right, go ahead, Ryan. If you want to see if he could come on, go ahead, but I'm not doing that. And Ryan. Sometimes every once in a while I'll be like, man, how'd you get him? Like today, I've got Governor Holcomb. I got an interview at 9:05, and I'm, whatever. These guys put it together. That would never happen if I was doing this show by myself. I would just sit here and talk to Mad Mac and Vinny and Lori and Jackie, and we would just kind of josh around because that's really all I want to do. Ryan's like, no, we got to bring these people on. You're right. When you mended that fence, I was surprised, and probably even Governor Daniels was surprised. I mean, then he came on all the time, and perhaps that mending of that relationship, when I say that perhaps it was Ryan that made it so that we could have this big, association with Purdue, it started right there with that relationship because he had to sign off on us coming in here. And we put the deal together, and Tom Keon over here in Purdue Northwest and I kind of put the deal together, but it was Mitch's decision. And I tell you the truth, I told Chancellor Key, and I'm like, hey, listen, this is a great thing. I know that this will work for Purdue and that this will work for WJOB, and the region will be a stronger place if this deal comes off. But I don't know if Mitch is going to go for it. I don't know how he thinks about me. And he signed it. And that started when you mended that fence. You're right. I forgot about that.
And at the end of his governorship, or I don't know if that's even a word, but they actually were starting to call us and say, hey, he's going to be coming through the area. He's at the Little Calumet River. One time he had invited us to come over there for that. And he was at Bowman Academy. He invited us to come by for that as well. So he started really not even just coming on the show, but also inviting us to meet up with him when he came through the area. And he was good. And even a couple times you've had him on through Purdue. I've emailed and called Purdue, said, he said he liked talking with you. I'm glad that things got back on track.
Well, Debbie Wargo has a little different tack on it. She's like, we're like, well, why don't we have Mitch on more? He's the head of Purdue. And she's like, well, I don't trust you, and I don't want you to mess up the relationship with our landlord. So why don't we just, have him on like once a year and just leave it like that? And I'm like, well, you guys don't trust me around here? What's your problem? But I think now it's time. Why don't you get him on one of these days? And you know what? He needs to come in the studio here. Now they think about it. Let's not just talk about Mitch, but over the 8 years, we've had a lot of really stupid, funny things that have happened here in the studio or at the old studio.
We've had Joey Chestnut.
Remember Joey Chestnut?
The hot dog eating champion. And he came in for the pierogi eating contest and came by the old studio. And he tells us that he was actually an engineering guy at San Jose State University. I mean, that kind of floored us all.
Yeah, Joey Chestnut is the world hot dog eating guy. And he's from San Jose, but he's just a major party dude. He reminds me of some dude you might run into over here at Dante's in Munster. So, one of the other ones that was kind of fun, remember when I interviewed Andrew Dice Clay in the afternoon, and the people called and they said, listen, Dice is going to call you. You got 10 minutes. And I'm like, all right, I'll talk to Dice for 10 minutes. I like his show and this and that. We went 39 minutes, and Dice would not get off the phone. He didn't want to leave us. He's like, man, you guys are cool. You guys are cool, man. I like this. And he wouldn't leave. I'm like, all right, Dice, well, I don't want to get your handlers. Don't worry about them. And he almost said the F word like 4 times. And I warned him before we go on. I go, Dice, man, this is AM radio. I know you don't do a lot of AM radio interviews, and I don't even know how this happened, but you cannot swear, dude. Oh, no, Chad, I'll do it. I won't. And then he just was going on, and he had people coming and going in his hotel room. And then he wanted me to look at live video of him in his underwear.
That was a wild one.
That was a wild. How about Tommy Chong?
Yeah, that was one I was going to say next. Tommy Chong has called in. We've had a couple people from different bands that were performing at the Festival of the Lakes.
We had I think one of the cooler interviews we've done in a while is about a month and a half ago. We had that girl with Down syndrome on.
Yeah, Olivia.
And she just captivated. We got to get her on again.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, she was good. A lot of people liked her, and she wants to meet Taylor Swift. Taylor hasn't taken up the bait yet.
I would imagine that's because she just came off the new CD. So I would imagine now touring, maybe that'll happen when she comes to Chicago.
Then there's a bunch of people that, sometimes I just haven't gotten along with. And all right, I'll give you a list of people that if you can get these people on the show, you're the man. All right, here's one: Spiro Spatastato. See if you could get him on.
Well, I'll add on that. That was one of the most entertaining morning shows. We were on the other side of the building, and Dave Kuzak, Matt Reardon were talking about something that they had a dispute, an issue with something that happened with the Visitors Center and Authority. And Spiro's it was hot summer day, had his drop top, comes pulled up right by the window, comes running in, and him and Kuzak are yelling at each other on the air.
That's always fun. Kuzak himself. Oh, wait, how about this one? Ryan's doing a game at Whiting and Bishop Knoll, and we're the radio people. This is before we had Facebook Live, and they're sitting right at the scorer's table, right by the 2 benches. Whiting and Knoll, at that point, and still do, kind of hate each other, and you guys know that. There is an altercation with the referee, and what happens?
we get bounced January 31st, 2011. Hard to believe that's already been 7 years, but there's a hard flagrant foul on a player from Whiting on a player for Bishop Noel going for a dunk. I don't remember which player it was for Noel that was going for a breakaway dunk. I'm sure Jimmy Mulaney knows. Adonis Filer was going for a breakaway, and I think it was Strabavi that had committed the hard foul, and tempers were flaring. People were screaming and yelling, and Dave Kuzak, Bishop Noel guy, got a little fired up about it. And some Bishop Noel or some Whiting fans shouted some things at him, and he didn't like what they yelled at him.
So Kuz is on the air. Do we have tape of that?
Well,
I think we destroyed it because we didn't want to get any violations on, I don't know if we destroyed it, but we didn't go out of our way to, because we didn't know what the ramifications were going to be on the radio and with the IHSAA, because we got thrown out, and it wasn't a clean throw out. It got pretty ugly. And so we had to quit the broadcast in the middle of it. I remember turning that on going, why am I hearing music? Well, we got thrown out, and we couldn't do the game because Kuziak got us thrown out of there. All right, well, that's enough for the stroll down memory lane. I do mean this with all sincerity, Ryan. Thank you. This whole region thanks you, because WJOB, my morning show was okay, but it was floundering. And since then, it has become a home for many of us here in the morning. On an AM, the growth of the AM morning show allowed us to buy an FM radio station and allowed us to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in streaming video, and it's all kind of paying off. And without a morning show, local media just doesn't move forward. And so, I can only say it so many times. Now I got to do the same thing for Debbie Wargo when her anniversary comes up. That's even harder.
She doesn't get up early like we do.
Yeah, she's not up, so don't worry about it.
Remember, we used to have just that one single camera on Ustream and live stream?
Oh, God. We were the pioneers in this. A one single grainy camera, yes. Are you going to go to the T-Rex one?
No, I'm not going there.
Don't go there.
We beat that one like a dead horse.
Yeah.
It's long gone. We don't
I got to tell you this one then. So we had this guy named T-Rex working here, and we said, hey, go. And we had just started. Before Facebook Live, we were doing live streaming video for 6 years, okay? But we were doing it here, and whatever. Facebook Live changed everything. So we had a little camera, and I said, all right, I got to go to the washroom, and then I want to go eat. So why don't you go in there and play some music? I mean, this is how haphazard it was before Ryan came along. But remember, you're on the camera, so just, sit there on the camera. And T-Rex came in, and he put the music on, and then he stood still. He sat still from the moment a song started to the next one, and he had to click something. He would sit still, and he would look just to the side of the camera. And the comments that people were making were brutal, man. I mean, it's just... Anyways, we've learned a little bit over the time. Hey, Ryan, the Cubs go off at 11:40 today. What are we looking for?
We are looking for a John Lester start that will hopefully go 7 innings and then turn over to the bullpen for 2 innings. The Cubs, everybody's healthy right now. Ian Happ's going to be the leadoff man, followed up by Bryant, Rizzo, Schwarber. The guy that everybody's wondering about, a new hitting coach, Chili Davis, came in for John Malley. And is Jason Hayward going to live up to his contract? This is year number 3. He's had 2 poor hitting seasons. I mean, he's an outstanding right fielder, Gold Glove winner a couple of times in his career. Will he live up to his big contract? It's an opt-out year after this season is over. Will he step up? They signed Yu Darvish. He's going to pitch this weekend in Miami. That they think he's gonna get his pitch. He was tipping pitches in the World Series and in the NLCS and NLDS. They think that they've got his pitches figured out, and he's not gonna be tipping them anymore, and he'll be back to his dominant self. Kyle Hendricks is healthy. He had some tendonitis issues in his hand and his wrist last year. Missed some playing time. Tyler Chatwood's at the end of the rotation. They believe in him to be a good 5-hole starter, and then. The quiet, unsung hero that a lot of people are saying is Quintana. They got him in a trade, a couple of prospects from the White Sox, and they think Quintana's going to have a big year.
I got to cut you off, Ryan. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on, including Purdue Northwest coming up here at 8:05. Dave Gladys is in the house. I want to talk about Purdue Northwest. A clutch 2-run double in the top of the 6th inning by sophomore Taylor Mendenhall proved to be the game-winning hit as PNW softball rallied for an exciting 2-1 victory in Game 2 of Wednesday's GLIAC Conference doubleheader with Tiffin University in Tiffin, Ohio. White Sox, what time?
3:15.
Okay.
No Gladys Day. It's the 5th Thursday of the month.
All right, so
we have a couple scores from high school. I know you got to move on to some news stories. Bishop Knoll 1-0 over Gavitt. Jack Poland has the RBI in the win for Bishop Knoll. Wheeler takes down South Central 2-1. Hobart falls to Washington Township 7-3. High school girls softball, Crown Point wins over Portage 11-7, and then Lake Central 10-4 over Chesterton. So Lake Central and Crown Point are figured to be the 4A powerhouses again around the area, both off to 2-0 start.
And Andrean beats Brother Rice right here at Dowling Park 2 days ago. That was a huge win. Brother Rice is a powerhouse in baseball over there, and it just shows you that the guy going to Vanderbilt, Doolin is supposed to be. Ryan, will you set that up? We need to get out and see him pitch and maybe get out and do one of those games. As a matter of fact, if you guys want us to do a baseball or softball high school game, you know what? All I ask is you come up with just enough to cover the team that goes out, and we'll come out and do some games. We're not looking to make a killing on it, kind of like we did on high school sectionals. But we want to get out and do some games. We'll wait till it gets a little nicer. Of course, we'll be doing all of the Purdue Northwest softball and baseball games that are played over here at Dowling Park. And in other sports, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, but it's completely slipped my mind. All right, anything else, Ryan?
Well, yeah, just wanted to let everybody know again that Dana Evans is on TV tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Louisville is playing Mississippi State in the women's Final Four. Following that game will be Notre Dame in Connecticut, but got local flavor, Gary Westside graduate Dana Evans. She's getting significant playing time for the Louisville Cardinals women's basketball program, so check her out tomorrow on TV, 6 o'clock on ESPN.
Speaking of the history here, we had Dana Evans in here, and I was incredibly impressed with Dana. She had just signed with Louisville. I don't know, maybe we had her in right about this time last year, maybe. Or no, we had her in after the season, so maybe 10 months ago. So he's right. When the Final Four in women comes on, that is tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, tune into Louisville, and Dana Evans out of Gary is the kind of young woman now, I call her a girl back then, young woman, that you can get behind. She really does. She carries herself. She has this huge dedication to Gary, and I remember talking to her off the air, like, she was like, I just don't like how people think about Gary because it's a place where there's a lot of good people and there's a lot of warmth and love. And I'm like, man, you know what? This girl's going to go places, and she is. She's going to be in the Final Four tomorrow night representing Gary, Indiana, and the rest of the Calumet region. So, take a look at the game and know that I'm telling you guys, she's pretty cool girl. All right, guys, that ought to do it. Dave,
see you, Johnny's.
See you, John. Hey, Ryan will be out there. I have a final marketing project tonight from 6:30 until 9:20. I'll be presenting with 5 other of my students, and I will not be misbehaving today. Ryan's laughing at that.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch are back together, 11:40. 15% off your bill if you come in wearing your favorite team's gear.
All right, Ryan and Gladys both are laughing that I'm going to behave today, but I'm telling you, it's true. Ryan has a challenge. He needs to get Mitch Daniels and Spiros Patastatos on the show. Let's see if he can do it. Happy 8 years. Once again, Ryan Walsh, the savior of the morning show here at WJO Bubba.
Save the date, April 19th, for the 2018 Fair Housing Act's 50th Anniversary Celebration and Awards Reception being held at the Center for Visual and Performing Arts in Munster from 3 to 8 p.m. At 3 p.m., there will be a continuing education class. From 5 to 6:30 p.m., enjoy a cocktail reception, and 6:30 to 8 p.m., program and awards. Tickets in advance are $35 or $45 at the door. A portion will go to NWIRA programs. That's April 19th from 3 to 8 p.m. Hosted by Lake County Housing Task Force and Bankers Community Council of NWIRA.
Rush Radiosurgery deploys revolutionary technology in the fight against prostate cancer in just 5 outpatient treatments. With radiosurgery treatment for prostate cancer, there is no pain, no surgery, and you can go back to your normal activities right after treatment. Prostate cancer does not fight fair, and neither should you. For more information, contact Rush Radiosurgery at 312-942-4600 or visit us at rushradiosurgery.com.
No case is typical. Results will vary by patient, and there's no guarantee other patients will experience experience these results.
Everything Italian. That's what you get at Giuseppe's Restaurant in Cherville.
Hi, this is Joe from Giuseppe's Everything Italian. Here today to let our friends and listeners to WJOB know about the few things that we have added. We offer catering now, catering for your party, family event, or even for businesses. Just give us a call at Giuseppe's at 322-0011 and ask for Joe. Thank you.
Giuseppe's Everything Italian is located at 1000 Eagle Ridge Drive in Cherville, just north of the Showplace Theaters. 219-322-0011 or visit giuseppespizza.net.
ARW Pro Wrestling, the best in the Midwest, returns to Morton High School in Hammond, Indiana. Max Holiday teams with Ivan Manson to face Old School Manson and Drex Odell. Mr. M80 Marche Rocket versus the Dark Horse, Nick Cutler. Greg Glover takes on Anthony Totelli. Moxie Molly meets Stacy Shadows for the first time. Aggravated Assault butts heads with the Machine and Johnny Showtime. And in a three-way dance, Excalibur versus Dave Allen versus Theo Storm. All the titles are on the line. Saturday, April 14th. This is a fundraiser for marching band uniforms. Doors open at 6 p.m. Showtime 7 p.m. ARW Pro, the best in the Midwest. Morton High School, Hammond, Indiana. Saturday, April 14th. All the action, all the excitement, and everything you'd expect from ARW Pro.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Easy Clean is happy to announce their new location's grand opening at 1637 45th Street in Griffith. Open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Or stop by one of our 3 other locations in Highland, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, carpet shampooer, air freshener, and towel with every wash. And it's fast, easy, convenient, safe, and gentle. Go to myeasyclean.com for more information.
Hey, what are you guys going to do, huh? It's 7:34. Evidently, it's the 5th Thursday of the month, so Gladish isn't coming in. And so you and I thought these guys sitting outside there were Gladish because they were laughing, but they're actually Purdue Northwest athlete, a Purdue Northwest coach. And I got to tell you that traffic is what we're going to look at right now. And you guys have me all the way up until about 9:45 today. And that was not by choice, as I will be hosting the Purdue Northwest show, which is already in the books. And now that Ryan and Debbie have added an interview at 9:05 with Governor Holcomb, and part of it is we thought Gladish was coming, so I guess we didn't put him at 7:30, but it'll be at 9:05, and I will do a special governor interview with Governor Eric Holcomb, the pride of Hanover College and Indianapolis Pike High School. 294 is actually bad from Cicero on up to the Stevenson. Yikes, if you're going to O'Hare right now. 80 going east and west looks pretty good. Bishop Ford is surprisingly light at the merge now. But further on down the line, it's bad as you have, let's see, from, say, 55th on up to, say, all the way into Jane Byrne. It's bad. So whether you take the Skyway or the Bishop Ford, it doesn't matter. Skyway's good. So is the toll road. Actually, so is the Bishop Ford. So is the Borman. Northbound I-65 is a problem, guys. And that is from backing up from, say, Ridge Road all the way up to the Borman because of an accident on those right lanes. Or left lane, they're saying now. So anyways, it's right by where, it looks like it's right by where it splits to go to the Borman. If anybody's in that area, somebody call us. Come on, you losers. Somebody call me and tell me what's going on at that intersection. Oh, here it is. I got 4 texts on it. My fault. I'm the loser. Every time you point at someone and call them a loser, you got 3 fingers pointing right back at you. I-65 ramp onto 8094 westbound is down to 1 lane. 65 north is backing up to Ridge Road. Jed, there's an accident at I-65 and the Borman. Oh, there's 4 texts here. I'm sorry. You know what? Who's a loser? I'm a loser. Jed. All right. I'll eat that one. Traffic brought to you by our good friends at Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. And what do you have on in terms of the weather? A high of 47 today. Right now it's 40 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. Easter's coming up. You know where to do your shopping when you're going, wow, where do we go buy all this stuff? You go, hey, listen, I'm going to go to Strachan Van Til's because they're the local guys. They have the best produce, and they support JED's show in the morning. And quite frankly, without Strachan Van Til's, we wouldn't have been able to do a lot of those upgrades and so forth here at the Purdue Northwest Commercialization Center. So prove your loyalty. Get out, do your Easter shopping at the Strachan Van Til grocery stores. High at 47 today. It's 40 here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. It is 39 degrees at the Chesterton Strachan Van Til's. And in North Hammond, it is 41 at the Strachan Van Til's there. And so here we go. Let's take some phone calls. Weather is brought to you by Laborers Local 41, of which I am very much a proud alum. And don't forget, many of the union folks will be out at the American Heart Association Gala that's coming up in April. All right, I'm going to take your phone calls. No Gladys, just you and me, baby. And let's go to Cindy. And Cindy, how have you been?
Good morning.
What's your life like these days?
Okay, how is yours?
I'm it's not as regular as I'd like, but I just ate a couple prunes, and I think things are going to be okay.
Gross.
Okay, good enough.
Hey, I want to shout out happy birthday to Charlie and to Ken.
Ken Davidson?
No, Ken Bevedek.
Ken Bevedek. And who is that?
He's a gentleman that him and his wife take me to church every week.
Ken takes you to church every week?
Ken and his wife, yes.
Oh, that's so nice of them. What church do you go to, St. Kaz?
Yep.
And so they pick you up and take you over there?
Yep.
What Mass?
10 o'clock.
10 a.m. Mass? Why so late?
What do you mean, why so late?
10
We
a.m.?
don't have that many Masses.
What's the earliest Mass at St. Kaz?
On Sunday, 8:15, and it's in Polish.
Oh, 8:15 Sunday Mass, Polish?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to go to that. I mean, I remember some of the words, but do you know Polish?
Not that much.
Do you know any words? Do you know any swear words? Hey, listen, let me ask you a question to Ryan. Let me get a ruling. Ryan, if we swear in Polish, is that a violation? Come on, give me like a gosh darn in Polish, will you?
I don't know.
How about matko?
That's mother.
Oh, yeah. Matko jedenta. That's what my grandfather used to say. Mother, no need to speak, basically, is what it is. And
Jeszcze domu spać.
what's that mean?
Go home and go to sleep.
How about stick your finger in your nose and whistle a tune?
I don't know that.
You don't know that? All right. How about put your hand underneath your armpit and make a fart noise?
I don't know that either.
You don't know that either? Okay, well, can you study up your Polish and then call me next time? Would that be all right?
I don't know anybody that speaks Polish anymore.
You don't?
No.
Hey, if anybody speaks Polish, will you call in and just say a couple swear words for us? Because we can, and that would be okay because you can't say them in English. That's the problem.
Right.
Hey, happy birthday to Charlie and happy birthday to Ken Bevedek. Ken and his wife, what's his wife's name?
Cheryl.
Ken and Cheryl, you guys get a gold star for picking up Cindy and taking her to a very late Mass at St. Kaz every Sunday.
Our latest one is 6.
Bye. See
Bye.
you. 219-845-1100. Verly, what Mass do you normally go to?
I go to 10 o'clock Mass
Why so late?
because that's the only Mass we have.
What church do you go to?
St. Monica and Luke in Gary, Indiana.
Where is that?
That is at 645 Rhode Island, right in the Emerson area. It is an African-American themed Catholic church.
Wait a second. So that's at 10 o'clock?
Yes.
Since it's an
And
African...
guess who our pastor is?
I don't know.
Our new pastor is the bishop.
So Bishop Hines says Mass at St. Monica and Luke sometimes?
Well, he said Mass last Sunday for Palm Sunday, but Father Kevin McCarthy will be leaving to go to Nativity, and so Bishop Hine will be the new basic administrator of our parish. Right now, what we do, Father Pat Gazer retired, and so we bring in priests from Chicago and other areas to come in and say Mass every Sunday from the Society of the Divine Word, and now the bishop will be our new administrator.
Really? So I know it's an African-American themed church, but every once in a while, Alexis and I like to get out and travel for Mass. Is it okay if a white guy with a goatee and a Mexican lady come to this African American themed church?
Well, actually, there are quite a few white people who belong to our church because they love the feeling of being in our African American themed church because we're so welcoming. Now, you don't like hugging, and that's going to be a problem for you because our sign of peace takes about 15, 20 minutes because everybody in the church goes around the entire church hugging and greeting. So if you're like my husband, he gets there right after the sign of the peace because we do the sign of the peace at the beginning of the Mass because it takes so long and we don't want it to go into the Eucharist.
So if I got there, where would I find your husband? Sitting in the car listening to the radio? Or what?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit around and hug people for 15 minutes. No way in HE double toothpicks. All right, so my wife, on the other hand, will hug anybody anytime. So you too. So he basically lets you off at the door, and he goes and he sits in the car.
Well, sometimes we drive separately because I might have a meeting or something after Mass.
Yeah, I was really excited about going to this Mass until you brought up all that hugging.
I was giving you a heads up.
All
But
right.
everyone who comes to our church is like, they love it. The nuns all come there from Sojourner Truth, and, it's just such a welcoming church that they love it.
I will say this. When I went to your birthday party, I hugged more people that night than I had in a long time. I hugged Gary Mayer, Karen Freeman Wilson. Rich Ligon. Rich Ligon gave me a hug. Frenchie, the basketball guy, gave me a hug. I mean, I knew a lot of these people, so, it was I guess, kind of expected, but I realized that when I walked out of there, and I go, man, I hugged a lot of people here tonight. But anyways, you just gave me anxiety thinking about going there and hugging people for 15 minutes. Hey, so what's on your...
anxiety. Hey, I was calling to let you, but I heard you get the text messages about what was going on in 65.
What is that?
Northbound. There's an accident on the shoulder, but I got off at Ridge Road, and most people, if they know to get off at Ridge Road, that was the best way to go, and then went over to Broadway and got right back on 8094.
Where are you going?
I do a morning news show every day in downtown Hammond, so 8 to 10.
All right, and so Verley Suggs, in the same week, listen to this, in the same week, my childhood chump, Billy Baker, prompted me to do more internet streaming video. And in the same month, Verley Suggs, A, joined Facebook, and B, went on an internet-based show. That means the world has really changed when Verley Suggs and Bill Baker finally accepted.
Really. And I just have to say this, but when I come on a Tuesday, for your mayor of Hammond, Indiana, who spent most of his time in the morning talking about why I don't like him, and he doesn't know why, I'll run it down on Tuesday.
Thanks a lot. Look forward to it on Tuesday. Bye. See ya. Have a good day.
Bye.
St. Monica and Luke. Where do you go to church, Mulaney? Mulaney, where do you go to church? Go to Bosco? You go to OLG? All right. So, Mulaney, what time is Mass there, the earliest one? 7? That sounds about right. Because I get up at 4:22 even on the weekends, and then, the wife doesn't wake up till, I don't know, she'll sleep in a little bit. And so she may not get up till 7:30 or 8. So I got about 3 hours of sitting around doing nothing. And maybe I'll do some. I'm looking for an early Mass, like a 6 o'clocker. And 7 o'clock's even kind of late at OLG. Let's see how Deb's been doing. Hey, Deb, what's going on in your life, huh?
Hey, everything. Good morning to all, and congratulations to Ryan first. 8 years, great accomplishment. I think you should give him a couple bucks. Let him go out and get himself a nice breakfast, and just let him go home for the rest of the day.
Hey, I think there's a technical problem. There's a technical problem. I can't hear. Is there somebody on the line? I'm missing this. I started to hear give Ryan a couple bucks, and then it kind of faded out. Is anybody? I'm not hearing this.
Let him go get some breakfast for himself and go home.
Stop,
would
will
be a
you?
nice gesture.
It doesn't work that way around here.
Aw,
Everybody works.
He's a good young man, we'll say. He's
You know
done
what?
a great job.
Deb, you've been listening for a while, and I
Yes.
appreciate that. I mean, it's no secret that he has brought at least a modicum of professionalism to the show.
Yes, he's
and
a good. Yeah,
he's a good guy.
I agree. Now these Polish swear words.
Okay.
Now I only heard it. I really don't know what it means. And I was young, so I might even mispronounce it. It's been a long while. Maybe you know what it is. Chakra Holeta?
Oh, my gosh. Don't say that again.
What is it?
I have no
well,
idea.
we can't say it in English,
Can't
right?
say it in English.
And then there was this chimchada. What is that?
I don't know, but just stop right now. Okay.
Oh, I got more, but
No,
we won't.
don't. Just don't go there.
Actually, I think you have quite a few of the same nationalities that I do.
Really? Do you have? All right, here's what I have. I have Polish,
Yes.
German, and
Yes.
Dutch is my
Yes.
main. What
But
are you?
I have one more, French.
French?
Yes, I got that in there.
Really? How'd that slip into the
Well,
occasion?
great-grandpa came over the correct way and immigrated legally, and so did great-grandma. Great-grandma was total French. Great-grandpa was German and Dutch.
And where did they meet?
I believe overseas.
Like in a
in
cantina
Europe.
or in like
In
a
Europe.
bar?
They came together. I don't know. I was very young. I was blessed to have great-grandparents.
So was it the kind of thing where
But
your
the
great
Polish things came from my mom's side. My mother's mother and father were all Polish.
So you keep a good clean kitchen floor.
Oh, I cook, clean, and I bargain hunt, I call it. I'm not a cheapskate.
So you
I bargain hunt.
one of the hallmarks of having a little bit of Polish or a lot of Polish is that if you walk into your kitchen floor and like say you've had like a few people over or whatever, the very first thing when they leave is you got to clean the floor. And you can't go to bed until that happens.
And my neighbor always told me, and she's has some Polish too. Don't really overdo cleaning the floor on your hands and knees before company. That's what you do after they leave. She's like, just sweep it up and fluff up around the edges maybe if you see some crumbs, but you're going to have tracks and crumbs all over. She says, wait till they leave. Then you do the floor.
and you know what? There's like certain nationalities like Buddhists, they meditate. And in Indian culture or Native American cultures, they have ways of communing with nature. Polish people, the one way to really unwind is to clean a kitchen floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a meditative state where you get in this, you get on your knees, and you just kind of move around, and nobody's bothering you, and and you know
got the music on. Got to have the music on.
Yeah,
that goes with cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
But my neighbor bought me this really neat bucket that spins the mop and all, because she said, I don't want to ever see you on your hands and knees in there. And I'm like, I tried it out. It was really neat. So, I can get away with this big old mop once in a while. But I prefer the hands and knees. That's just how I was raised. That was one of my jobs on the chore list. I wonder if kids have a chore list nowadays and still get an allowance.
You brought up something. I don't know how many times I would come home from school. Hi, Mom. And it wouldn't be like eye level to eye level. She was kind of short, so it would have been smaller. But she was on her knees doing the kitchen floor.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mom. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Mom's on her knees doing the kitchen floor, either my mom or my grandma. And it was just like well known that, she would be on her knees doing the whole floor. Now,
yeah, that's just how it was. I really know no other way until recently, so I've got a little treat.
Only a Polak would think of a new mop as a treat. Thanks a lot. Talk to you.
How about it?
Talk to you. See you, Deb. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Happy Easter.
Hey, you too. 7:52 in the Calumet region. I'm Jim Deedlow. I thought Dave Gladish was coming in at this time, so I could pick up a big topic like the firing of Kyron Sims. Ryan, that's another challenge. Kyron Sims, I want this guy on. This guy that got fired by the county, and he was working. Hey, where'd all my newspapers go? Oh, here they are. he was working for the county at maintenance at the building in Hammond, and evidently Tom Dabberton, who is the county human resources kind of hatchet man that has to fire people usually, wrote him a letter and said this to Mr. Sims. He said, during our recent meeting, you refused to listen to instructions and made comments which were inappropriate and unprofessional. Your actions and refusing to follow direction has left us no other choice but to conclude your employment. Now, Mr. Sims is the guy who evidently went to the elections board and said that Higgs, Councilman Higgs, who was also the supervisor there at that building, had him notarize something on company time, on county time. So the thought plickens, and there will be no swearing in Polish or any other language here on the sacred airwaves of WJO. Just so you know. All right, final phone call. Hey, Bill, how are you, man? What's up?
Bill, it's Jed.
No, you're Bill. I'm Jed.
The most important thing, this is Holy Week.
Yes, it is.
This is the week on Sunday where Jesus Christ rose from the dead to give us the opportunity to save our souls.
Yes, right? You are correct, sir.
There wouldn't have been a Jesus Christ without his mother. Right?
The Virgin Mary, the only immaculate conception in history.
Well, Jed, the thing is, it's by definition, and that's what I was taught at Notre Dame, our finite minds are incapable, by definition, of analyzing and determining an infinite being and an infinite mind. How's that for an education?
Our finite minds.
So let me get to Polish. You only need to remember 3 words that my mother taught me. A stolat. E-S-T-O-L-A-T. May you live 100 years. It was Pope John Paul II's favorite toast.
E stolat.
A stolat. I'll tell you what, try it out. I think even you can remember.
A stolat.
A stolat. It's a toast, and we'll have a toast together soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bill. Happy Easter. Hey, guys, 7:54 in the Calumet region. I will be right back. Don't forget, St. Catherine Hospital has an amazing cardiac unit. Just think about it. One of the top in the nation.
Do you have a family history of heart disease or diabetes? St. Catherine Hospital Cardiovascular Prevention Center providers are offering free assessments to help determine your risk for heart disease and other related medical conditions. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 11:30 a.m., you can stop by the center at 7217 Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond for assessments like an ABI leg circulation test, blood pressure, body mass index, random glucose assessment, and more. You must be 18 or older, and walk-ins are welcome. You have only one body. Let St. Catherine Hospital of Community Healthcare System help you take care of it. You can also call 219-392-7CVP to book an appointment today.
Men, are you taking Viagra or Cialis for ED? ED should not stand for expensive drugs. If you're taking Viagra, talk with your doctor about Sildenafil. Now you could get the same active ingredient in Viagra in generic 20 milligram tablets for less than $2 each, saving over $30 per dose. Available at Vito's Pharmacy. Call us 219-228-7200 or visit us at vitospharmacy.com.
Vito's Pharmacy.
Elmwood Casket Company in Hammond and Cherville offers over 100 American-made caskets, up to 60% less expensive than area funeral homes, along with a wide selection of burial vaults and cremation urns. Our company is licensed by the state of Indiana and offers interest-free pre-arrangement plans. Call Mike at 219-844-7009 or visit elmwoodcaskets.com for pricing. Remember, you do have options to prevent overpaying at the funeral home. Elmwood Casket Company.
Giovanni's in Munster, Northwest Indiana's premier Italian cuisine. Come enjoy our expertly prepared veal, steak, seafood, and other Italian delicacies. Experience over 20 years of entertainment with our piano player Jack every Friday and Saturday evening in the lounge. And join our VIP or e-rewards on your next stop in. Host your special event, shower, or celebration in our back room. Giovanni's is located at 603 Ridge Road in Munster. Call 836-6220 to make a reservation. Check out our menu at giosmunster.com.
You guys are stuck with me till about 9:30, 9:45 today, as I'm going to host the PNW show that's coming up here in a minute, and then I'm going to take a short break, and then I'll be back with you guys around 9:05, 9:10. You can listen here, but you can also watch on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as I'm going to do an interview with Governor Eric Holcomb. I do apologize. We thought that Gladys was here today, but he's not. It's our fault. So we're doing Holcomb at 9:05 instead. Otherwise, maybe we would have had it a little different schedule. But I'm going to hang around and do that. So I don't think you need to go anywhere today. These upcoming shows, Purdue Northwest will be good. We've got some athletes on. And then City of Whiting is always good. And then you have Governor Holcomb. We're going to talk about his trip to Ontario. We're going to talk about his opposition to industrial hemp, which is not marijuana, but is growing in Newton County right now as we speak. And we're also going to talk about CBD oil, and we're also going to talk about the upcoming session for student safety. So I know you guys think that I just screw around here all the time, but you know what? There's some very serious journalism going on here. So, hey, listen, 294 around the city looks pretty good. And that is up until Cicero, and then it's bad, as you are accident blocking the two left lanes at 82nd Street. It's right past 95th, and that's backing all the way up to Cicero. That's bad. Sorry. If you're going to O'Hare right now, I wouldn't go through the city, though, because Jane Byrne is really bad. So, you know what? You got to wait it out on 294 if you're going to O'Hare right now. So one of the ways you can do this is to go all the way down to 80 and come up 355. 355 is actually moving along pretty well all the way around the city, but that takes forever, even with no traffic. Bishop Ford is wide open. So is the southern end of the Dan Ryan, but the problem is getting up into the city right there at Jane Byrne. 55th on in, it's stop and go. So that's a long way to be gopping and stowing. So try to go a different, I don't know. If I was driving to the city right now, I'd probably go up the toll road to the Skyway to Stony Island and take that up, because Lakeshore Drive is moving pretty well. All right. The other thing is Verley just called. A number of you text in, and I'll just read a couple of these texts. Let's see. Their I-65 ramp onto I-80-94 going westbound has been pushed down to one lane. I-65 is backing up all the way past Ridge Road. So that pretty much tells the story. All right, let me get a few more texts in here. There is a thing such as a Dutch clean that, too, you know. What losers these people are. One guy says, our kids have a chore list. Another one says, the coldest park by far in the region, Whiting Park. Vinny is 100% correct about Cal Park, says another texter. The main fields are on a raised plateau in the middle of the park, and that lake wind just whips right through you. I'm
with you, Maryville.
Maryville is the coldest,
I'm on Maryville.
Every time.
The highway.
Even if there's no wind in the whole region, you get out there. It's like going to Lost Marsh and playing golf. There's no wind in the whole region. You get out there, there's a 25-mile-an-hour wind in your face. Here's another texter says, hey, question any work being done on county time. All right, guys, it's 8:01. This will close my JED in the region portion of the show. We're going to go into another Facebook Live instance of Purdue Northwest's PNW today, and I'm honored to host the show coming up. And then I'll see you guys again in about an hour with Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb on he's not coming in, right? He's calling in, right? He's calling in. And we'll have him at 9:05. If there's anything you want me to ask him, text it to me at 219-845-1100. Anything you want me to ask Holcomb, just text into the line. Other than that, I'll see you guys in just a couple minutes on the other side of a couple of spots. PNW Today coming up soon on the voice and face of the region, AM 1230 WJOB, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Also streaming live on the TuneIn app in audio, and then in video right now on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See ya.